Welcome to Timesink, the weekly podcast to let you know what's worth sinking your time into. I'm your host, Sauce, and this week I am joined by the Stonks master himself, Mr. Hummer.
Is it Stonks or is it not Stonks?
And someone I don't have a hilarious intro prepared for, Brad.
I've never been one to need one of those things.
Not Stonks. We got a great episode for you this week. This week, we're going to talk about Donut County in and of itself, the White Tiger, and Mr. Mayor. So stick around. We got a great show. But before we get into the show, I want to remind you, go to timesinkpod.com. You can talk to us there. You got all of our social medias that you can come check us out, video and audio episodes. Let us know how we're doing. Leave us a review. Help us grow. And what do we do here? We rate things from 1 to 5. Not the quality, but we rate if it's worth your time. 5, put it at the top of your list. 1, don't even touch it. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it off to me this week. I'm going first.
What?
So selfish.
What?
Me going first is Stonks.
I'll put that on Wall Street Bets and I'll see what they say.
All right, so we haven't talked about a lot of video games this year so far, mostly because I've been not finishing Cyberpunk.
And they're all delayed.
Yeah, most of the good new games are delayed. And although Hitman 3 is supposed to be really good, and I am going to play that, but it's really hard for me to get away from Hades because it's so good and I'm having so much fun playing it. But one of the great things about owning a Nintendo Switch is the deals that they do all the time. So you can get some good games for like $3, $10
Deals
all the times. And that's very Stonks.
You're overusing that. You played it too much. The bubble has burst, bro.
Damn it.
kind of like
It's
kind of
time
like
to
sea,
sell.
It's so
It's
last
time to
week,
sell.
just like sea shanties.
I never got my sea shanty. Okay, so
Did you ever deserve one?
I don't know. I guess not. Now Hummer's running through his last week images. So Donut County was on sale on Switch. I picked it up for like $3-4, but I want to bring it up again because it's coming to Game Pass this month. So if you see it pop up and you're thinking, should I check out Donut County? Yeah, you should definitely check out Donut County. And here's why. Not because it's a quality game. It's a quick little puzzle game where you basically are a hole in the ground and there's little puzzles you figure out to try to swallow up everything in the level and make your hole bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a fun little time waster game, something to do, definitely. Something to just like chill out after the end of a workday and play something pretty mindless. But it took me less than 2 hours to beat the game. So it's a very short game. I could have kept playing. Like I do want more. It was cute. It was fun, but it's extremely short. So if you want to just try it out and get in there, it's going to be on Game Pass on the Xbox, so you won't have to pay for it. But it's a nice little relaxing game that, you probably never play again. But it is worth your time if you're looking for something like that. I'm definitely just a quick review on it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 because it is on sale or is going to be free for you if you have Game Pass. So check out Donut County. Fun little hole game about being a hole.
What did that have to do with donuts?
Oh, well, now you're getting into the canon of the story. So donut hole is basically...
Yeah, I got the whole bit.
So the donut makes a hole when you fry it.
You're losing me here, man. All I know is I Googled it and I saw there's a picture of raccoon, and for a second I thought that it was Cartman.
The coon.
I'm like, oh wait a minute.
So you see, when you make a donut, there's a hole in the middle. But
tell me like Christopher Walken would tell me.
But when you buy a donut hole, it's a ball. How does that make sense? Wow.
Well, Christopher, let me tell you, the aliens, it just doesn't make sense.
Average celebrity impersonations. That could be a whole nother podcast we do.
I'm really
Just
working.
average celebrity impersonations.
I'm working on my Werner Herzog. I would love to be able to do a Herzog impersonation. Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
We've done this because then I say the better line is from Parks and Rec. This is a house for people who went crazy, man. Doll factory.
I'll get there someday. Yeah. So you're the story of the game is you're a raccoon that runs a donut shop, and all these evil raccoons have moved into town, and you have to defeat all the raccoons with holes.
I've heard that's a problem in the raccoon community.
Big time. There's a lot of
Doesn't sound
infighting.
very nice. It seems like it's supposed to be a nice story. It doesn't seem very nice.
It's relaxing gameplay, but there is a lot of strife in the story.
It seems very violent.
There's
There's
been a
some
lot
violence.
of murder and intrigue.
So yeah, Donut Country. Check it out, or
There's
not.
been a murder.
It's a fun little game.
I do declare.
What I Mike, that episode is one of the best Office episodes ever because of the end when they're all facing off.
I have crossbows.
But what I really wanted to talk to you guys about this week is In and of Itself. So here's what it is. First, it's a movie on Hulu. Technically, it's a movie. It's a movie in the same way that Hamilton's a movie because it's a recording of a one-man show that was in Broadway.
It's a recorded live show.
Exactly. I think he did like over 500 shows.
552 shows.
Yeah. So it was playing in New York for a while before the pandemic, and it's the main actor is Derek Delgado, and he's a magician. The reason I wanted to watch it is because like, oh, okay, I like magic. I want to watch this magic show, but I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't really know anything about it before I checked it out. I just knew I was going to watch it. And what I got out of it was completely amazing. It is a magic show. He doesn't do a lot of magic in it, like you would. Like he's not pulling rabbits out of hats or doing pulling silks out of his sleeves, but he tells the start of the show is him telling a really interesting story that just completely hooks you and grabs you. Like you can see and feel the audience like immediately becoming enamored by this story, and then he turns it into a story about his life, and he's had like a lot of personal struggles that like he's actually, you can tell like as he's telling them, he's really getting choked up as he's working through some of the difficult things he's been through, and he's using magic to like kind of tell and enhance the story, but then it just kind of goes off the rails completely and gets into this deep introspective about like, by me sharing who I am, I'm also getting you to question and define like what you are, who you are as a person. He's eliciting this strong emotional response from not only you watching it, but you can see it and it's palpable in the audience. And then he starts pulling people up on stage and getting them to just completely like have these emotional, I don't want to say breakdowns, but like revelations about themselves and about who they are. He does some really cool stuff that's never been done in a show before. Like, I don't really know if it's a spoiler or not, but I'm going to tell you anyway. But basically, he has one person every night leave before the end of the show. And there's a reason why, but I won't get into that. And they come back the next night, and it's part of the show, and it's really intriguing. People are just, I cried the whole time. It's so strong. It's so good.
Well, don't cut onions while you watch movies.
Yeah, I know. While I'm laying in bed. Like I put it on at night to like fall asleep to watch it. And the whole time it's like 2, because it's an hour and a half, and it's like 2 a.m. I'm like, my God, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It's so emotionally raw. It's probably one of the best things that I've watched in years, because it's not like what a movie will do. It gets like elicits an emotional reaction, but it's like you're part of the show. It's an experience. I can't recommend it enough. It is so good. It's on Hulu, so you have to have Hulu to be able to watch it. But oh my God, go check out Derek Delgadio's In and of Itself. It is an experience, and you will want to experience it. You watched it too, right, Hummer?
Yeah, but I was gonna say, if you do want to watch it, you will check out our show notes, and we'll give you Frank's Hulu email address and password. Just make sure you log on afterwards, so that way everybody can share.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I really liked it. You actually had sent me a text, said, "Hey, you need to watch this," and it just so happened that I was walking, I think, into the living room with my wife to watch something after going through a little bit of downsizing in our life, because we are preparing to go from a 1,700 square foot house down to probably a 900 square foot apartment in New York City. So we're in the process of becoming minimalist, and so it just worked out perfectly. We turned it on, and I thought it was really good. I did not have the same emotional response. I mean, I didn't Google it at all. I had no idea what I was getting into. I was like, I don't know. Frank just said we should watch this, so I was like, let's go watch it. I can tell you, there is a celebrity cameo that just makes the whole film, but I can't tell you who.
There's actually a couple.
Who it is, but Steve Jobs was amazing.
Wait a minute.
There's this. It was really cool. The way he told the story was so unique. In the way he used the stage, because it was also it's a small theater, and like Frank said, it was definitely it's not just a guy. It was a one-man show, but it was an audience show. It was very interactive. It wasn't just one man talking, or it wasn't just Hamilton singing. It was a whole interactive story, and each part of the story was almost its own act, but tied into the rest of the story in a very unique way that I hadn't seen done before. And then the way he incorporated magic was the opposite of typically, I think, what you get of a lot of magic shows. It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't over the top. It was done as a way to tell the story that was being told, which is, I think, really unique when you're talking about magic shows in general. Because you can go to Vegas and check out, God, why am I trying to think of the Mind Freak guy?
Chris Angel,
and it's all it's about, right? He's not telling a story. It's just about watch me levitate, and this is really cool to look at, but it's not telling you a story. So he did a really good job with that. I would highly suggest it too. I've already talked to friends and recommended it, and said, hey, but if you check out our podcast, I'm sure we'll talk about it this week. Yeah, it's incredible.
It's so good, and as a performer, it completely revolutionized the way I think about performances, because I'm an amateur magician, right? And what what the hell am I doing just doing a card trick? Like, this guy is using magic as a tool to create this storytelling experience. But you, as for other performers out there, it doesn't have to be magic. It could be whatever you do. I don't know, dance or play music or whatever, but you use that to create this new type of experience. It's kind of hard to explain unless you've seen it, but man, I absolutely love this, and it's going to be a contender for best of the year for me already.
Have either of you guys seen a mentalist magician before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because that's what it sounds like to me. I've seen a more mentalist style magician. It definitely sounds like it's more than that, but it definitely, the base seems more of a mentalist style magician rather than a short up close magic or an illusionist, or because there's definitely different forms of performance magic. I just think he's probably I didn't watch what you're talking about, but from what I'm hearing, it's just a combination of a few different forms and done really well. So, I mean, any style of any performance when done well is something definitely worth checking out. And this sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it without actually watching it, because the more you're saying that I was about to say, actually no, it's not. And I'm like, well, actually, yeah. Now that I'm thinking back on it, there is quite a few elements of it. Um, but it's like, yeah, it's definitely how he ties them all together, because you know, it, he does a lot of card tricks. And before we hopped on here, I was asking Frank, like the card tricks were amazing, like incredible. Like he was going through basically. I don't want to give too much of the story away, but kind of talking about one aspect of it is different card grips, right? And I asked Frank, "Can you do that kind of stuff?" And Frank's, "Well, I can do the card tricks, but show us a card trick."
Is that what you were doing?
No, but I mean, like, I was asking, like, because I was asking about it, like, how good is he, right? And like, you as someone who knows kind of exactly what's going on, how good was it?
Extremely well done. I couldn't do it at that level, not there yet. But
could you pick up on some of the card tricks, like the more sleight of hand stuff he was doing?
Yeah, but there's only like one section where he does some card stuff, and I know,
God,
like,
but it was freaking incredible.
He's explaining it while he's doing it. I mean, he used to be a card
trying
shark.
to give you away. That's the whole point. He's like giving away the secret, but you still can't.
That's been done before too, though.
Yeah,
there have been plenty of people who, walked people through card tricks and things. I'm asking if the sleight of hand stuff that he probably does, or the stuff, I can't think of the word for it, but you look this way while I do something over here. Misdirection. Thank you. Did you catch a lot some of the things he was doing?
See, it isn't about that, is my point. Like, he could have been, I don't know, jumping on a pogo stick and using that to create these stories and engage people emotionally. Like, the magic just enhances it, but that's not what it's about.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really just hard to describe what he's doing with it, because with the card trick, as he's like going through it, this is a part of his life that he's telling you about, where he was, this maybe a shiesty kind of character, right? Because he's doing card magic, he's doing this type of stuff, but he's telling a story not of someone who's cheating you. He's telling the actual story through the cards, and the magic trick is just what he's basically just how he's describing that he was a trickster and making you believe that, yes, this guy was a trickster.
Imagine the movie Now You See Me. Now imagine the exact opposite of that.
With real magic.
Yeah, so in and of itself, 5 out of 5. Definitely check it out. So you guys both checked out stuff I haven't got to, but I'm interested in. Who wants to go first?
I don't care. I'm not picky. I'm pretty easygoing about the whole thing.
I mean, mine's gonna be pretty short.
Go ahead. Then go right ahead.
It's an Indian indie film. So
Netflix has
back
been
to back. We're back to back here. This is 2 in a row.
Netflix has been pushing this film pretty hard though lately.
The White Tiger.
Yes.
So yeah, Netflix in their Indian films, it's definitely a stonk. It's going up. They're trending like crazy right now. Get in while it's hot. In the White Tiger, I thought was no different. Instead of the last one, which kind of was just like a warm and fuzzy feeling, which was the 100-foot journey. This one is basically about the journey of a poor Indian kid who, aspires to be greater than that, and then, and becoming greater than that, started off with becoming a servant. But it's like a flashback movie. So they start you in present day, and then he flashes you back to the portions of his life that led him to where he is. And it was really cool because it's also like, basically, this isn't really spoiler. It's just it starts off with him, like the president of China is visiting India, and he's trying to meet with the president of China. So he's like, let me tell you a story about a servant and how China, and like he's flattering China with like, you guys didn't want to be servants to the British, and so you overthrew your masters, and well, so did I. And he's like going through and that's how he kicks it off with his life story. But it has it's great because it's probably the first movie in a long time that I've watched and told you guys about that didn't involve any kind of romance whatsoever.
Are you sure? Because I see it has Priyanka Chopra, the most beautiful Indian woman in the world.
No, yeah, I'm definitely sure there is no underlying romance story here. It's a cool story. That's all I can say. It's definitely worth checking out. The acting in it's good. Even if like I didn't know who she was when you said that, or until I saw this. But yeah, no, it's a good movie. It has a lot of twists and turns for even though basically what the ending is because he's sitting at a desk, right? Or like you see at the beginning of the movie what the ending of the movie is. It's definitely full of lots of twists and turns of how you got there. And it's not a thriller by any means, but one of the twists you're just like, oh man, I'm an idiot. Right? Like, how did I not see that one? So no, it's good. I'd give it a solid, 3.5, 4. I can't really pin it down to one or the other because, I just think it's a solid movie. It's definitely worth.
Is it in English?
Yes and no.
So you can watch it subbed or dubbed?
It is. They speak English, but then they also don't speak English, and when they're not speaking English, it is fully subtitled.
Oh, okay. So it's both.
Yeah, so they'll actually speak English. It's not dubbed, but then they'll kick in because it's really kind of highlighting the difference between high society India and in the servant style India. So they'll they're taught to speak English, so they're mixing it in and out, and it's kind of getting into the culture aspect of it.
Anytime I hear or come across a story that does that whole like flashback storytelling, I think of the episode of Rick and Morty in the Purge episode when he has to listen to the lighthouse keeper's storytelling, and he goes, cut to 3 weeks earlier, and then at the end, Morty's like, I just think stories should start at the beginning. That's it. You telling me you didn't like my play, did you? I always think about that every time someone's like, yeah, it like starts and then he like talks back about how he was as a kid. Cut to 3 weeks earlier. I always think about that for some reason.
I immediately went to the office. $50 is more than I've ever seen in my entire life.
How did you know that?
Did you guys see?
David Wallace told me.
Did you guys see the new meme, or not meme, but what someone drew on the on one of like the border walls? He goes,
"No,
look, Morty, I turned myself into an illegal border wall. I'm an illegal border wall, Rick."
No.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. It's so good. Then they painted Rick on there going, ah.
The only meme I see now is Bernie memes, and I hate it.
Everywhere.
I love Bernie. Let me just say that Bernie Sanders is amazing, but I hate all these people who don't know how to meme and have never memed before. Just throwing it like it's just like, look, it's a picture of Bernie sitting at my desk. Ha 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 ha.
What is he waiting for you to fucking do some work finally? God damn!
Zing! Oh my god, how am I gonna go on with the rest of my life after being burnt so bad?
By saying that I should do my segment next.
Excellent transition.
So, I decided to finally sit down and watch the first couple episodes of NBC's newest comedic gambit, Mr. Mayor. This one definitely rides off the coattails of how great Ted Danson was in The Good Place, which is the last comedy that recently ended.
Which it was also amazing.
Very good. And a big part of it was Ted Danson being amazing in it. I'm pretty sure that the NBC executive when The Good Place ended, like went and sent a memo out to any comedy writer that they work with a lot, this case being Tina Fey, saying like, hey, if we wanted to retain Ted Danson for a show, you have any ideas for that? And Tina Fey was like, oh, yeah, you could just make him a 1%er that runs for the mayor of LA. And they were like, good, yeah, just write that up. We'll pay you a couple million for that. So that's how Mr. Mayor came into existence. Probably. I just told you. I told you the entire NBC pitch meeting. That's what my guess is. And then Tina Fey was probably like, "Yeah, Ted Danson's a pretty strong male, like older male character. Who can we get to reflect him as a female character? What if we got what's that woman's name? She did the voice on Elastigirl, Holly Hunter, right? Yeah. What if we get little Holly Hunter to play a ridiculous character for some reason on this show?" And that's exactly what they did. They grabbed Holly Hunter, who is, I did not realize how short she was.
She's very short.
Maybe it's just putting her next to Ted Danson, but she looks like very short. And they made her a ridiculous character, which is so not normally Holly Hunter's wheelhouse. Then Tina Fey was like, well, this character, we probably need a more ridiculous, like bumbling idiot character. Who's available for that? My good friend, Bobby Moynihan. So they grabbed Bobby Moynihan and threw him in the show as a bumbling idiot character, which I'm going to tell you so far, 4 episodes in, he's been awful. Like, God.
Oh,
awful.
no.
Really bad.
No.
Awful. Yeah. Yeah, really dumb. Like, he might have a couple of, like, of those endearing Bobby Moynihan moments that you remember from Saturday Night Live, but the rest of it's just real bad. Real bad.
That sucks to hear.
Then they went and grabbed a couple of no names, of different like races to like, to make sure they did that. They have an Indian woman on.
Is it Priyanka Chopra?
It's not. It's like I said, it's nobody ever heard. Then they gave Ted Danson a 15-year-old daughter, and made his entire motivation for becoming mayor was that his 15-year-old daughter, because he had retired, he was a retired 1%er, and his daughter thought he was a useless old man. So he decided to become mayor of LA. That is the whole plot, and we're running off of that. I think the show was very hastily thrown together, and it's obvious. I think that they make some easy political 2020 jokes really early on, and they've kind of moved away from making fun of 2020 now through 4 episodes. This is a show that's really going to depend on the cast becoming a good cast together. And I will tell you, I almost turned it off after the pilot. The pilot was terrible. But I'm sure at this point, you don't just watch the pilot. A lot of pilots on episodes are not great. It's a very common thing for comedy. A lot of these big cast shows like that, the cast really has to merge and meld and become a really good cohesive unit. So I'm definitely going to give this show some time to do that. But I will say that through 4 episodes, it hasn't been great. It's Ted Danson is himself, same character he was from The Good Place, and is like has moments. Holly Hunter it's so weird seeing her play a character like this. At the same time, I can appreciate somebody trying something out of their normal bubble. Bobby Moynihan is bad. It's more bad and not enough good for me to say it's good.
Why is it bad? Is it the acting? Is it the script? Is it the style of comedy?
I'm gonna say it's a little bit of the jokes that they're trying to use of his character and the like idiot side, and it just doesn't like hit. And because it's not it's I can't just say it's an acting thing because it's not like the delivery of them is bad. So I will say it's probably more of a writing and a character issue. Like that's definitely a part of it for sure.
Are the bones there that if they got a better writing staff, it could be a good show?
I don't think there is because I think it's really thrown together pretty hastily. He's just the mayor of LA and he's going to be dealing with random problems. I think the first laugh out loud moment I had was I want to say it was the 3rd episode where Ted Danson ate pot gummies on his like press tour he was on. And then he got into like a fight with an NHL mascot. And while he was being all paranoid and stuff, that might've been the first like laugh out loud moment I had. And like I said, his like the newer actors who are his aides, I think are really bad. Like their acting is terrible. I will put that on them for that. I just don't think there's not a lot of purpose to what's going on in the show. So I think that a lot of it has to depend on the writing of the jokes and then the performances of the actors, which is why I said they have to become better in their characters. It's not the first show that's ran into this problem. Like the early episode, the first season of The Office definitely has its issues at times where characters are still trying to find themselves and the cast was trying to find itself. It just had, such strength from Michael and from Dwight and from Jim really early on. And then every other character.
It wasn't Diversity Day in season 1, though.
Yes, that's the first episode.
Like one of the greatest episodes.
No, Diversity Day is episode 2, I thought.
Oh, it's the first episode of season 2, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't even know anymore. No, I might be wrong.
Anyway, the first episode of season 2, it is because he's got a $200 haircut. But
Diversity Day was season 1, episode 2.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Episode 2.
Basketball was 5. Hot Girl was number 6.
I'm not saying there weren't strong episodes. I'm saying that
when I'm looking back on it, is a banger. All right, that is straight stonks. That is fire.
Oh my goodness. It's not an uncommon thing for comedies to struggle in their first season or in their first 4 to 5 episodes. I didn't really like Rick and Morty that much until the interdimensional cable episode. Then it was Then it was just bangers after bangers.
That's still the best episode.
I remember the first time I watched Pickle Rick, and you were basically like, yeah, way to be 2 years late to the party.
It's just, so it's not uncommon. So it's really hard to give Mr. Mayor a rating right now. If I had to, I'd probably only give it a 2. I'd probably tell you to wait till the first season is finished and then maybe binge it. If it may or may not get better, because I do think there are strong actors involved. Tina Fey's name is attached as a creator. So like there are names that have found success through TV mediums. NBC, I don't know, they put a lot of good, strong comedy sitcoms out. It's just not everyone's going to be a winner. So I think that they're verging on that case with this show.
There was a time 8-ish years ago where every Thursday you got to watch Community, Parks and Rec, The Office, and 30 Rock. And that was one of the best times for TV sitcoms ever. And you got 2 hours of amazing shows.
That was pre-streaming too.
Yeah, so that's key.
So you had to like TiVo or DVR your Thursday comedy hour and then sit down and watch them all together, like every Thursday. We also were getting Lost every Tuesday in those years too.
Oh, back when Lost was amazing and like, yeah. I remember being in college and we'd be like, oh, it's Lost night. Super high and watch it.
Tuesdays and Thursdays were always like, we'll get together and watch TV, but not till 10 o'clock when we could start watching the 8 o'clock show.
Yeah, man, life was great back then. Thanks,
man,
Obama.
Good times. Thanks, Obama.
All right, well, since we got a little bit of time left, I did want to mention another Stonks suggestion. You'd already talked about this last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but I gave Ted Lasso another shot. As I said before, I'm not a big Jason Sudeikis guy, but I hear good things, and I wanted to watch it before my Apple TV subscription ran out.
Sure.
So I powered through, got through the end of the first episode, and I was like, you know what? I can see why people like this. So, then I watched the second episode, and then by the second episode, I realized, you know what? This is really good. I'm really enjoying this. Ted Lasso is a really good character, even though he's yeah, go ahead.
Just like Jason Sudeikis' character does to everyone in that show. With like, you don't want to like it, you don't want to like him, but he's so nice and he's so like positive and he always says the right thing for some reason. You're just like, this fucking guy. Why do I fucking like this guy? It did the show did the same thing to you that the character does to all the other characters.
I got lassoed. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. A lot of heart, good comedy. Definitely more British humor than American, but still good. I would recommend watching Ted Lasso, but that's the question I was asking myself is, would I buy Apple TV to watch it? And no, I would not.
It's not enough.
No.
They don't have enough other stuff. And you're not going to go rewatch a season because it's unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So they need more stuff for you to recommend Apple TV to people. Like they just don't have enough yet.
So it's a perfect 3 because if you have Apple TV or like, if you just got a new Apple device and you're getting it for free, yes, absolutely check it out. You will enjoy it. It will be worth your time. But if you don't have Apple products, no, it's not. Or don't go out and buy Apple TV for it. So I think that is a perfect definition of what a 3 is.
Yeah, it's a show out of convenience. Like, I'll watch that.
Yeah, it's a nice little treat.
Yeah,
sitting there for me.
It's like putting your Reese's cups in the freezer, man. Just a nice little treat.
You mean Reese's?
No, I don't mean that. You son of a gun. I knew you were going to do it because I wanted to make my little cutesy little thing. I knew you were going to punish me for it. You just punished me and you smacked me on the bum. I didn't like it. That was a disenchantment.
I know, which makes it worse.
Have any of you guys been keeping up a little bit with this whole GameStop saga?
What? That's out of the blue.
That's the point of the Stonks.
I just got a text message from a buddy, and he pointed this out, and he goes, "The Financial Times of London has been quoting a Reddit user with the username OpenPosition69. Here's what the guy said. One Reddit user claimed he had taken his father's life savings, put it all into BlackBerry stock with a "you only live once" attitude. Told him either on a yacht.
You can't even tell the story. We got every fourth word of that.
He said I told him it's either retirement on a yacht or food stamps for him. YOLO, baby.
Stonks.
Jesus. No, I highly suggest, actually, if you want some Timesink, like a true 5, go to Wall Street Bets, just go and sort by top today, and then, or if you really want to get into it, go top to week, and then you'll learn actually what's going on with GameStop and why the craziness with the stock. But then you get to hear some freaking hysterical stories of just the stupidness of it all, and there's so much gold there. So much.
The best part about that subreddit is how supportive everyone is about the insane decisions that they're making. The high financial insane decisions.
Like, no joke. Someone will be like, "Hey, should I throw this $10,000 in this?" And everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, dude. Just fucking get it."
Yeah, except it's more like 90,000.
I took a second mortgage on my house today, and I just YOLO'd.
And everyone's like, "That, a lot of people are doing that." That's what the next Reddit user doing. Yeah, I heard that's a sound financial decision. There is little risk and a high ceiling in that, baby.
All right.
I mean, in all seriousness, it is actually, I say it's cool. It is kind of cool that literally Wall Street Bets and the Reddit
cool with
community
shades like that
put a hedge fund in the position where they were about to fail and needed $2.75 billion of capital injected into them in order to stave off financial ruin. And then that hedge fund takes the money and doubles down. Idiots.
All right, well that's all the time we got for this week's Stonk cast, the weekly Stonk cast to let you know what stonks to sink your money into.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
It's so fun to say.
Yeah. Have your secrets.
Thanks for sticking around. Definitely go to timesinkpod.com. Leave us a like on our social medias. Leave us a review. We want to hear from you so we can turn this podcast into a relationship/financial advice podcast.
More updates on the saga that is GameStop. Save the GameStop.
And we'll see you guys next week. All right, let's capture a quick pose for a thumbnail.
Should we just keep moving until we find one?
Here's mine. Ready? Everybody cool? Let me hit this.
I've never been cool. Never once. Never lost.
Welcome to Timesink.
All right, I'll let you go this time.
Welcome to Porn Sync.
Welcome to Stonk Sync, the weekly Stonk cast,
It
where
better
you
not sink.
learn where to sink your stonks into.